Welcome back, Warren. I am Tim Hanson, and I am proud to serve as the superintendent of MSD Warren Township. And I can't tell you how long I've been looking forward to saying those words and having our students and staff back in our schools and classrooms. Although this is not how I imagined the opening of the 2021 school year happening, I will take it any way I can. Over the last 5 months, our lives have been transformed in almost every aspect. These changes certainly have been challenging, and we know that there are more challenges that lie ahead as we continue to navigate these uncharted times. As we prepare for the upcoming school year, I encourage us to remember these words from Maya Angelou. We delight in the beauty of the butterfly, but rarely admit the changes it has gone through to achieve that beauty. I believe these words serve as a reminder that the changes we endure make us stronger and more beautiful on the other side. Looking back on last school year, we spent much of our year speaking with parents, staff, and our community about how we can improve our student outcomes here in Warren Township. As a result of those conversations, we completed our 5-year Invest in Warren strategic plan. We identified 5 areas of focus: invest in relationships in the community, invest in meeting the needs of the whole child, invest in our people, invest in efficiencies, and invest in the future of our graduates. I would argue that these 5 areas are just as applicable in these unsettled times as they would have been in normal times. Each of you will receive a copy of our Invest in Warren strategic plan, and I will ask that each school make these areas of focus a priority as we start the 2021 school year. Additionally, during this process, our mission, vision, and values were updated to more accurately reflect our purpose, our direction, and what we value. Our mission is to connect tradition with innovation in a safe and learning environment that provides exceptional learning experiences and fosters meaningful relationships for all students, families, and employees. Warren values respect for diversity, academic excellence, commitment to community, personal learning experiences, equitable access to opportunities, and strong and supportive relationships. And finally, it is our vision that MSD Warren Township will graduate our students who exhibit the skills and dispositions of the journey of a graduate. If you remember, our 6 JOG skills are citizenship, collaboration, communication, content knowledge, critical thinking, and resilience. It is my hope that all of our experiences that we provide our students will have these skills embedded in them. I am proud to share that our work last year with the strategic plan and the process was done through a lens of equity. I'm not proud to share that we have a lot of work to do in this area. Student outcomes, diversity of our staff, and looking at policies and practices that negatively contribute to systems of oppression or racism are a priority for myself and all of us in Warren Township. It is my hope that this strategic plan will both provide direction and coherence for our students, families, and staff. I look forward to working with all of you in Warren to make this a reality. At this time, it is my pleasure to welcome the following new employees to Team Warren. I ask that all of our existing employees please help them make them feel welcome and supported. All of the names that are on this list, I'm excited to meet you, and I'm looking forward to visiting your classrooms and just having an excitement of bringing new staff on to Warren Township. I would also like to recognize and show my appreciation for the following staff who provided exceptional service in Warren for the following years. I'd like to recognize all of these employees for their 10 years of exceptional service. Thank you for your good work. I would like to recognize the following employees for 15 years of exceptional service in Warren Township. Thank you for your good work. I'd like to recognize the following employees for 20 years of exceptional service in Warren Township. Thank you for your good work. I'd like to recognize the following employees for 25 years of exceptional service in Warren Township. Thank you for your good work. I'd like to recognize these individuals for 30 years of exceptional service. Thank you, Dina, Linda, and Laura, for your good work. And I'd like to recognize David Kennedy and Tana Shank for 35 years of exceptional service in Warren Township. Thank you for your good work. At this time, I'd like to show you and introduce some faces some of you may be familiar with. We have had a couple of changes over the summer, but I'd like to introduce our leadership team: James Taylor, Director of Student Services; Kate Schwartz, Director of Curriculum and Professional Learning; Jamise Bowman, our Grants and Assessment Coordinator; Janine Templeman has a new role. She is our Director of Marketing and Communications; Laura Buckwright is our College and Career Readiness Coordinator; Lynn Storm, our Director of Transportation; Jerry Kreitz, our Director of Facilities; and Adrian Pettis, our Chief of Police. I would also like to recognize our cabinet leaders: Allison Woods, Assistant Superintendent for Exceptional Learners and the Whole Child; Kent Schroeder, our Chief Technology Officer; Ryan Russell, Assistant Superintendent for K-12 now; Pam Griffin, our Assistant Superintendent for Student Programming and School Improvement. She will oversee our virtual program; Brian Simpkins, Chief Human Resources Officer; and David Holt with a new title, Chief Operations Officer. I would love to introduce our Warren School Board members: Rachel Burke, President; Lynn Matchett, Vice President; Julie French, Secretary; Michelle Wright, Member; Randy George, Member; Gloria Williams, Member; and Terry Amos, Member. It is my pleasure now to introduce Rachel Burke, President, with a few words of encouragement for our Warren employees.
Welcome, Warren staff. It is great to have you back again. A little over a year ago, I emailed Dr. Hanson, having attended another large district's opening day, and I had all of these ideas of things to do today. And the last way that we ended the conversation, he looked at me and he said, "We'll have this discussion again in May before school gets out so we can start making plans." And then March happened. And that week in March, it was the second week in March, everything changed. And I know I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Ironically, I was in Washington, D.C. at the time, and I was sitting at the Martin Luther King Memorial watching Mayor Hogsett's press conference closing schools in Marion County on my phone. And it was surreal. The monument was nearly empty. School trips had already been pulled back. No one was there visiting. It was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. No one was there. All you could see was traffic and hear birds. And even then, I don't think anyone had any clue where we would be today. Now it has been another 4.5 months. And this is your first time stepping back in the schools as employees teaching. Previous to this, Many of you were working, both from home, a couple of you in the building, but the world has really changed since last March. And I know that in March, there was all of this desperation. That entire week, I spent a lot of time getting calls about things that had been canceled and trying to get things rescheduled back when we kind of had this thought that maybe in April or May, things would be different and we would be back to normal. And that never happened. The next thing we knew, we were doing graduation in the PAC instead of at Lucas Oil. And it was one family at a time with administrators and masks, handing diplomas to students. And I'm glad we gave our students that opportunity, but it was really just another example of how everything has changed. So there has been a lot of discussion about how this is the new normal. And I want to push against that. This is not normal. It is not normal to have teachers in buildings at the same time that there is a virus and a pandemic sweeping through the country. It is not normal for people to be worried about their personal health and catching something they can't see while also trying to do their job. It is not normal for parents to have to make decisions about virtual education or hybrid education or in-person education while trying to take things like extracurricular activities and athletics and IEPs and 504 plans all together to try to figure out what the right answer is. Because much like this isn't normal, I don't think there's any right answers anymore. Please know that the school board, the administration, we're here for you. We want this year to be as successful as possible, but we don't expect normal because that wouldn't be a fair thing to expect of anyone. We know things are scary. I know things are scary. I look at flu season in October and November and December, and my heart stops a little bit, and I really wonder where we're gonna be then. And the answer is we don't know. But week by week and step by step, we're gonna get through this year. My door is always open. You can always email or call, as is the rest of the board. We're here to hear your concerns, and we're here to help make this year as okay as possible, because I think okay is now what we go for. Be ready to give yourself, your students, your family back home, your coworkers some grace, and that is the same grace we will treat you with. It's going to take a while to get used to it, and just when we are used to whatever we're doing, we all know in the back of our minds that there's a chance something is going to change. So be ready to feel that. It's perfectly reasonable to be upset about it. It's perfectly reasonable to be worried about it. I think I'd worry a little more if you weren't. But know that we're here for you when we have your back, and we want what's best, because we are Warren Strong, and we're a family, and together we will get through this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, President Burke, for your support throughout all of this, not only for our employees here in Warren Township, but our community in general. It is my pleasure now to introduce Jenny Whitaker, who is our WEA president and a teacher at Warren Central High School, for a few words.
If anything has been learned in these past few months, it's that our relationships and connections with people are extremely important. As we move into the new school year, creating and maintaining relationships might look a little different, but they are very important. I have complete faith in Warren teachers and staff that they will build positive relationships and create amazing experiences for our students and families. It is the Warren way. But just as important, our relationships with our colleagues need to be a focus. Teaching under normal circumstances has always been stressful and chaotic, and we always need to lean on each other. That has not gone away. We all will need grace, a giving heart, a non-judgmental ear, maybe more now than ever. Check in with each other, but more importantly, check in with yourself. Self-care is not selfish. Put away the guilt for taking time for yourself or for taking time with people who bring us joy and boost our energy. You are worthy of care too. Remember, you are not on your own. You have a team supporting you.
Thank you, Jenny. It's been a pleasure working with you throughout all of this summer too, and your team. As I wrap this up so you can get on to preparing for tomorrow, there are a lot of things that I don't know about what the future holds. But there is one thing that I do know, and that Warren will do whatever is needed to support our students and each other. As you prepare to welcome your students tomorrow and welcome them on our buses and back on campuses, I remind you of our hashtags to provide encouragement. Warren will, together we will, and here we come 2021. Have an incredible school year, and if there's anything that I can do to make your year more successful, please let me know. Thank you, Warren.